guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be talking about the Melbourne Football Club and what has happened to it. They're currently 1-5 on the year and really have just not shown any form of what they did last year. They made the prelim, went over to West Coast, and people thought that they could make the grand final. The form that they were in, they knocked off Geelong, and then they obviously knocked off us to get there. And everyone thought, this is the turn. This is the turn of the Melbourne Football Club. They're going to be good for the next solid 5 years. You know, they've got that brand of footy, that quick brand of footy that people love to watch. You know, they had so much, energy, I guess, last season, and it looks like they got nothing. You know, it looks like they've run out of the tank already, and it's 6 games into the season. They have no pressure whatsoever in their forward line. Their midfielders don't track back. You know, they just think, we're in the stoppage, all right, that's fine. Once the ball goes out the stoppage, it's basically just a 6-on-6. And they're treating like the new brand of footy where it's 6, 6 and 6. The defenders are on their own. I watched the game against Richmond last night, and really, it was the Richmond midfielders who were pushing up and really helping out that forward line, you know, getting that pressure, and they were running hard and pushing. Melbourne, they were just in the middle of the ground. Didn't look like they wanted it at all. They were struggling to hold on in that third quarter, and then that fourth quarter they just got blown away in that last 10 minutes. It was just ridiculous. They're currently 10th in points. Last year they were first in points. I don't know how that dropped off. You know, Tom McDonald I saw playing down back now. I know that there's been some injuries to that back line. Obviously McDonald wasn't playing last night, but that's no excuse for having only 416 points in 6 games. That's 10th in the league. You were first in the league last time. What has happened to that forward line? The midfield, I think the midfield has been okay. I think Max Gawn is still having a great year. Obviously, there was all the talk about him losing weight, and that was having an impact on the Melbourne season, but it's not Max's Gawn fault. He dominated last night against the Tigers, and he's been dominating for the first 6 weeks, in my opinion. Clayton Oliver and Angus Brayshaw are still, you know, young, up-and-coming players who are really showing some promise, I believe. But the back line and the forward line are just, they're not getting it done. The midfield are good when it's in the midfield. When it's in the midfield, when it's in the battle, when it's contested footy, they play well. But anytime it goes uncontested and they have to chase and they have to tag players, they have to man the mark, there's no intensity whatsoever. I think the only one game that they did that was against the Sydney Swans, and they won the game. It's ridiculous, and I'm not a Melbourne fan, not anything close, but it must be so frustrating for Melbourne supporters just to, you know, have that glimpse of hope, you know, and then just have it taken away from you. It's just, I don't understand it. You know, they're looking back to when they were 10 years ago, when they were getting smashed by, you know, 100 points, you know, basically every week. It's really getting bad. It's really getting ugly. You know, I predicted them to come back and really make a push. I don't see any push happening in the next, you know, 10 weeks leading up towards the end of the year. They just haven't shown us anything against any quality opposition. You know, they've obviously had some good games, and some tough opponents, my bad. But, you know, against the weaker teams that they've played, they still haven't really shown anything. You know, Sydney have been trash at home, and they got that win. And you thought, well, Melbourne, this is the turn. You know, this is what they're going to do. They're going to turn. They're going to be the side that is going to, you know, push back. You know, I tipped them against the Saints last week, and I thought, you know, this is it. Melbourne are going to make the push. They're going to do an Essendon, like the Essendon have done in the past couple of weeks. They're going to push back after a really slow start. They just got smacked against St Kilda. I know St Kilda are really good and they've had a really good start to that season, but I expect them to drop off. It's St Kilda. You cannot drop off against St Kilda. They're currently last in the league against points scored, and, you know, this again going back to the midfield and not pushing back, but the defense hasn't been good either. You can't just blame the midfield. You know, the defense still needs to clear the ball. They still need to punch it to the boundary line. They need to do something. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. They look like they're lethargic. You know, they look like they've just given up at this point. Really, it's that bad. It's that bad. They currently conceded 601 points in their first 6 games. 100 points a game. 100 points is very rare to score in today's game. They've managed to do it. You know, it's not as free flowing as it was back in the 90s, back in the 80s. It's very more contested footy. As far as, you know, uncontested marks, you know, that ball's in there. The defence is much better to counteract that offensive power. Demons are just letting teams score on them constantly. You know, that last 10 minutes, I think Richmond scored about, 40 points? 40 odd points, something like that. That's unacceptable. That is a joke. That is a joke of just a whole team. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what Simon Goodwin's going to do. As far as his coaching, you know, he's already come out and said that, you know, they're easy to play against. And it's true. They are easy to play against, you know. You know, I think leading up to the season, you thought, all right, that's going to be a tough game. Whenever we play Melbourne, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a gritty game. You know, people looking at the calendar and seeing Melbourne as their next match, they're licking their lips. They're like, yeah, we got a dub. We got a chance here, boys. It's just ridiculous. I'm pretty angry because I'm not even a Melbourne supporter, and I'm pretty angry because I would like them to see an underdog, you know, and that was what they were last year. I've seen no fight, no grit, no determination from Melbourne. I don't know what they're going to do. Jeez, I wouldn't want to be Simon Goodwin because, you know, he's looking under the gun and he shouldn't be. Team's going to lift. Everyone's going to lift. You know, I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.